are taking the mystery out of sensory tools. I hope everyone will learn how to use the simple sensory tools that every church can take advantage of to help people be able to come to church and to be able to fully participate in church. One of the things that I think is most mysterious in the world of sensory tools is weighted things. Weighted things can be kind of difficult to know how to use at times. So I would like to help you know how to use a weighted item correctly at church. Weighted things like this weighted wrap, for example, provide heavy pressure, and they really are a wonderful tool because pressure can help decrease anxiety and help increase calming, and also can help people decrease extra movement. So it can be a really useful tool at church. I really like a small weighted item like this neck wrap because it's very portable and it can be used all around the church. People of all ages can use weighted items, and they are great for classrooms, sanctuaries, really any area of the church where you might need to help with anxiety, calming, or decrease extra movement. I really like this particular weighted wrap because inside of it is full of clay beads. And the clay beads are nice because you can actually microwave this weighted wrap, and that makes it even more calming because you get that nice calming warmth. You can also put it in the freezer to get it really cold, and cold is really helpful because it stimulates the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs down the center of the body, so if you get this really cold and place it against your face or neck or right at the center of your chest, you can stimulate that vagus nerve and actually give your system a little reboot. And it can help stop that shutdown or meltdown or anxiety if you catch it early enough. So you may be wondering, why do weighted things or heavy pressure help calm? And I'd like to go over that in a little more detail. We have a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system. Our sympathetic nervous system is sympathetic to danger. So it's very sensitive to light touch, such as a bug crawling on our arm, or a pickpocket brushing against our back, or even the light touch of a wind. Anything that alerts us and heightens our anxiety, our sympathetic nervous system helps to prepare us for that threat and prepare us to react to danger. On the other side, we have the parasympathetic nervous system. And I like to think of the parasympathetic nervous system as paragliding. You like smooth sailing. It is responsible for rest and digest. So we want to stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system to help us with calming. And we do that with heavy pressure or using weighted things. And the heavy pressure and weighted things actually help release neurochemicals in our brain and body like oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine that can literally reduce our anxiety, help with calming, and help us to be more at rest. Things like a big hug, a thick, heavy blanket, all those kinds of things just naturally release those kind of neurochemicals and help us to feel more relaxed. Heavy pressure or weighted things also help people who are proprioceptive seeker or proprioceptive under-responders. Proprioception is our body awareness. It's how we know where our body is in space. So if we are not receiving enough cues in from our environment about where our body is in space, we are going to actually have a need for more movement. And that is a need, not just a want. We know where our body is in space because of the receptors in our joints and muscles. When we're moving, we get a little burst of awareness. And so if we are lacking those proprioceptive cues, we are going to crave extra movement and actually need extra movement to stay grounded. So a weighted item like this neck wrap or a lap pad or even a weighted toy, for example, can give us that heavy pressure to give us that extra sense of grounding and that burst of awareness to know where we are in space, to help reduce that extra movement and that need to get up and walk around. You can give yourself heavy pressure by getting a big hug, pressing down hard on your head, jumping, stomping, or even clapping. I think it's really important to know that we rarely need a weighted blanket at church. A weighted blanket is very heavy and it can be dangerous for some people, so really it should be only used under the guidance of a professional or with very specific instructions for that particular person. My general rule of thumb is to use a weighted item that is probably no more than like 5 to 10 pounds, and it needs to be something the person can put on and take off themselves. If they can put it on and take it off themselves, then generally it is safe to use. It's really helpful to have weighted items like this neck wrap or a lap pad or a weighted toy, different areas of the church. I know people that will go to church and they know how to use a weighted item, so they'll just go get the weighted item, put it on, sit down, and be able to sit still longer, be able to attend, have less anxiety, and be able to learn much more effectively because of using a weighted item. I like this particular weighted wrap because it is portable, it's easy to clean. This one has a removable cover, which is really nice, and I recommend trying to find the kind that do have a removable cover. You can put it in the laundry, easily disinfect it. Weighted items are quiet. They work really well to help with anxiety and calming and extra movement. They're relatively inexpensive, and I think they're a wonderful tool to have available in our churches for people just to be able to grab and use them whenever they need them. This is Charla, your friendly OT, and I'm so glad to provide free consulting to you about sensory tools, any questions you may have for your particular church or ministry.